Hey, what's up guys? Kenneth here with the LEGO Republic, and today we're going to be talking about all the things that I think you should know about LEGO Castle. This has to do with the Gatehouse and the castle, and also with all of the minifigures in LEGO Castle. So I do hope you guys enjoy this video, and keep watching past this point in the video if you are interested. So this will be fun if you do not have all of the castle sets, or only have a few of them. You'll be able to figure out some things that you otherwise might not be able to have known. And so I feel like this is a pretty fun video. I do not have the Dragon Mountain LEGO set, so that is a big setback for this video. However, it is still able to get done. So let's get right into it. We're going to be talking about all the cool minifigures and the different things that they have. So, if you could not tell, I have divided all of the LEGO Castle Good Guy minifigures that I own into 3 different piles. Now, these piles are for a reason, so if you can tell, each of these people has a different torso print. So these are the different torso prints. This guy has that torso print, and this guy has the crown torso print. It's kind of like a chest plate. So this guy has no armor on, this guy has a chest plate on, and these guys have chainmail on. So the 3 torso prints, so I've divided them into groups, and right now, as of right now, we have 3 people in the chainmail group, 4 people in the no armor group, and 5 people in the chest plate armor group, which I consider to be the most heavily armored and most effective armor, because it doesn't weigh anymore, because it's simply a print, which is so, but what we're gonna do here is subtract and add a few characters because of what we have. So if you look at the actual instructions and see all the pieces of the torso prints, I do have 2 Forest Ambush LEGO sets, which is kind of like the Battle Pack version of, a Battle Pack. So it comes with 2 good guy characters and 2 bad guy characters. And the good guy characters, one of them has a chainmail and one of them has a chest plate. So we're gonna take out a chest plate character and a chainmail character from this list because they are extras. We're going to be focusing on 1 from every LEGO set. Now, what we're going to do now is add figures from the Dragon Mountain LEGO set that I do not have. So in the Dragon Mountain LEGO set, conveniently, there is 1 person with chainmail, and there is 1 person with a chest plate. So this is the full figure selection, just one of them is not a knight. So yeah guys, this is the full LEGO Castle torso prints. I am not counting the king because his is very special and unique and does not fit with one of these 3. So I'm not counting him for that reason, but here it is guys. You have 4 with no armor, 3 with chainmail, and 5 with chest plate. So obviously the chest plate is going to be the most common, and for good reason, because in my opinion it is the best armor for these people. However, we are just going to be talking about the common people here, so we're going to take out knights. That's a knight. This is another knight. And the reason I'm doing this is because you can't really see this guy's chest plate under his actual chest plate, and so for that reason I'm taking him out. And remember, this guy represents the knight from Dragon Mountain, so this guy's going away too. So with that being said, we now have quite a bit of a different selection here of figures, because we now have 4 with no armor, 3 with chainmail, and 2 with chestplate armor, which is just kind of funny. So the chest plates went from being in the top to being on the bottom. So this selection here is what we would have of all of the unimportant people. So this is taking out the knight, this is taking out the captain, so all of these dudes, like with the big shields and fancy armor, everything, we're taking them out. This is just the melee people who are just kind of in the army, and they're cool, but they're not super cool. They don't stand out very much. So here is what they are. And that is pretty cool that we have a 4-3-2 ratio, and it kind of makes sense because less people are going to be able to get those higher quality armor, but that's also kind of sad at the same time because it means that more than a third of the army is, well, almost half of the army does not have any armor, so that's pretty sad, guys, but at the same time, it kind of does make sense. So guys, here's the Chainmail Armor print. You've probably seen it before, but I'm just gonna go over it real fast. It just looks like chainmail. I mean, there's really nothing fancy about it. If we turn him, then in the back, there is more chainmail. So yeah, guys, there's nothing fancy here with the chainmail, but that is that in case you were wondering. Here is the no armor torso print, which looks kind of cool. I mean, it kind of looks like a Joker. If you were to change that to a white arm, he'd kind of look like a Joker, but it does look very nice overall. I mean, it does look really good, even though there's no printing on the legs. It just really looks awesome. You've got the back with the same thing, so I mean, there's nothing fancy, but just all in all, these castle characters, they look really good. Finally, guys, here's the chestplate armor. So I mean, it does look pretty sick there with that gold crown in the middle. Put some light on that subject there, no pun intended. But yeah, guys, it's just pretty standard, but they do all look really good, like I said earlier. So yeah, I mean, it's got a nice different like back of a chestplate print on the back, so it's not just like reusing the back of the chainmail chestplate print. So very nice there that they're doing special things, even though they're all kind of one and the same. Really quick, I just wanted to say some things about the weapons. So there are 5 of these standard swords, which are like the standard weapon, and that makes a lot of sense. So pretty cool. There's 1 in each set, which is very nice. So kind of like Harry Potter and the Harry Potter sets. Regardless of whatever set you get, there will be a sword in the set. Next up, you have the corresponding shield. So this is the cool lion's shield, and there are 5 of these, and I believe that there is 1 in each set as well. So they kind of correspond to the swords. Next up, you have the spears, which are really cool, nice and long spears, and there are 4 of them in the Lego Castle universe. The only set that does not have a spear is the Gold Getaway Lego set. The next up, there are 2 of these axes, which are gray, and they look pretty good. The castle has 1 of them, and the Gold Getaway set has another, so pretty cool with the axes there. Finally, in the Gatehouse raid, there is 1 of these nice silver crossbows, which is pretty cool and exclusive to the Gatehouse set. Then there are the wooden crossbows, which are in the castle set, and there are 2 of them in the castle set, so pretty cool. Also in the castle set, you get this bow and arrow, which is the only one in the castle set. The only actual bow that is not a crossbow that is in the castle set, so that's in the castle, and it's pretty awesome looking. Then you have the oval shield for the lions, so pretty cool looking. It goes to the knights. And did I mention that each set that comes with the sword, which is every single one of them, it also comes with like an extra sword in some cases. So if you did have extra people, and don't worry, if you have extra places to put weapons, there is more than enough weapons to go around, because they did include like 2 swords for every actual sword that you needed for your people. So I mean, there's extra swords, there's extra weapons to go around everywhere, plus all of those weapons that I just mentioned. Some of them, like the second steel gray axe, like they aren't used, they're just kind of to put on a wall or something, and obviously you could use them if you did want to, but they're not quote-unquote officially being used in the Lego Castle people. So here are all of the dudes separated by helmet. So we talked about the torsos, we talked about weapons, the legs are all the same except for the knights, which have some extra printed armor on there, just so you know. But now we're going to talk about the helmets. There's only 2 main helmets. Obviously the knight has his own special helmet, and this other captain dude has some sort of a fancy helmet as well. but the common folk who are playing the militia or the army do not have such fancy things. So we're going to look at their helmets. You have the two types of helmets here. You've got these like kind of rounded off helmets with the visor around it. I don't really know how to describe it, but you see what I'm talking about. Then next over here you have this kind of more open and pointed helmet. So pretty cool. Now we've got to do a few subtractions really quickly. So remember that I do have an extra 4th ambush, and that is one of each helmet that we're going to take away. So now it is 5-3 as far as the ratio of these capped helmets goes to these pointed helmets. So, and then of course you have the one helmet, but remember I do not have the one for Dragon Mountain. So in Dragon Mountain, there's a character that has a pointed helmet, so we're adding another guy back, and then this guy is going to take the place of the knight. So there's 2 knights now with that knight helmet. So there is 5 guys with the capped helmets, 4 guys with the pointed helmets, 2 guys with the knight helmet, and this is not including the actual battle packs from 2014 for the castle stuff. This is just including the castle sets. And then in the Gatehouse, you have this one guy with this single helmet, which for some reason does not want to hold this feather. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. If you have this set and that feather comes out, please tell me, because it always falls out and it's really annoying to find. But yeah, guys, so you have a 5-4-2-1 ratio here, and that's pretty cool. Yeah. So if you guys have stuck with me this far, that's a miracle. I cannot believe you did that. Why are you wasting your time? But at the same time, thank you guys for watching it so far. I mean, it's a pretty long video, but for the bad guys, we're gonna go pretty quickly here because I just have only a few things. Like, there's so much stuff that has happened. Oh, sorry about that. Like, all my bad guys seem to be disappearing, and I don't really know. So I'm going to take a look at the official calculations for this one, and we should get right back to you shortly. So my calculations, which aren't really calculations, are complete. So, for the torsos, for this kind of a torso here, there are 4 of them in the LEGO castle line. The official castle line. There are 5 of these torsos in the castle line, but I am not counting 2 of them, because 2 of them are underneath this chestplate armor, which just doesn't make a lot of sense to me why you would count it, because it is not showing at all. So, with that being said, then you have 4 of these guys and 3 of these guys. Now, we'll get right into the legs. Okay, so as far as legs go, you have 5 legs without any printing on the legs. And then you have 1, 2, 3, and I assume a 4th one with printing on the legs. So the LEGO Castle guys are kind of different because they do have printing on the legs. Some of them have printing on the legs that are not like knights or captains, unlike the good guys, which only have printing on the legs on the good guy knights or captains. So here are our 2 specimens of figures. So we're going to talk about all sorts of the differences here. So we already talked about the torso prints, which are different on both of them. And then we also talked about the leg prints. You can see this guy has printing, while this guy does not on the legs, which the printing on the legs is all the same. But now we're going to talk heads and helmets. So there are 2, we'll talk heads first. There are 2 heads that LEGO uses for these bad guys. You've got the one on the right, which is no red beard, and he's kind of just laughing. He has little stubby gray beard, maybe. And then on the left, you have the red bearded dude who's also kind of smirking. So I don't know what LEGO has against dudes with beards, but these dudes, all of them have beards, and they're all bad guys. So I don't know. You find the correlation. I guess if we put them around, you see that one of them is mad and one of them is very scared, so they go from being very happy to very sad, and you can flip them around, do all sorts of fun stuff with them. So those are the 2 faces, and I believe you do get 3 of each face in all of the LEGO Castle sets. So you get 3 of this face and 3 of this face in the sets if you had 1 of every single one of them. So that is pretty cool. Now we're going to throw these helmets back on there, and if you did not see what the helmets looked like before, well, you can now, because they look kind of cool. And so you have the pointed one, and then the sort of, I call it the Fire Nation helmet, because it looks kind of like the Fire Nation. If you've seen the show Avatar: The Last Airbender, you know what I'm talking about. I think it's very funny that it looks like that. And I've actually made Fire Nation soldiers using that helmet and this torso print. So very funny. But here is what it is up with the helmets. On the left side you have that pointed helmet, and there's 3 of them if you bought one of every single set. And there is 4 of the helmet on the right there if you bought every single set. So the deciding factor is the Gold Getaway set, which has just one figure, one bad guy figure with that helmet on the right and not the helmet on the left. So that is the deciding factor, but yeah, pretty much everything else has one of each. So yeah. So then there are the knight dudes, and these dudes are pretty neat. Obviously they have the long swords, which are cool, and then this dude does have the oval dragon shield, which also is pretty awesome. But this dude does have a unique helmet, so if we take a look at that helmet there, you can kind of see through, and I mean, it looks like any other knight helmet, but it's kind of cool. But now we're going to look at the face. So this is the angry face, and there is another version on the other side, which is the kind of like calm face. So you might think that this is the same face as the bad guys that we had just looked at, but actually it is not. So if you turn it around and look, even though they do kind of both have that same bearded like I don't know what to call it, scraggly, not full beard yet on the sides, it is a different face, so that is kind of cool that you get this different face for the knight dudes. But with that being said, guys, there is one final face. That face. It's a special face. No back face. Nothing. This face only shows up in 3 Lego. Actually, no, my bad. 2 Lego castle sets. So Gold Getaway is one of them, and the Gatehouse Raid is the other one. You get this really mean looking face, and I just love that face. It looks so mean and angry and like wants to kill you at the same time. It's so good. But basically, if you wanted this face, you can't get it in the little cheap battle pack sets, and you don't get it thrown in the bigger sets. So you kind of have to go for the middle sets if you want to get this face, which is kind of the selling point for the middle sets, I guess. So that's kind of cool that Lego Castle did that to kind of get you to want to buy the middle sets, although I bet it went over a ton of people's heads, just like it did mine until now. But yeah, really cool face, special face, no back face, to prove that it's special, and then it only comes in 2 sets. I mean, it's just a beautiful face, guys. So with those 4 Lego Castle Bad Guy Knight faces out of the way, let's get into weapons. So here are the weapons. There are 3 of these dark crossbows, which, I mean, they look okay. They look really dark and menacing, so I see where they're going with that. There is 3 of these ball and chain, or flails, or scimitars, whatever you want to call them. There are 3 of them, and Lego did a really good job with this piece, might I add. Like, I don't think you could do any better with this piece besides like actually making it a chain, but then it'd flop all over the place and be so annoying to play with. Yeah, guys, then there is this axe, which is really cool. Now you can put the axe this way, or you can flip it around and put the axe this way. It doesn't matter. I actually usually put it this way, so yeah, but you could do it whatever way, and if you want to have some variety, you could flip it around. So Lego does use these axes for the bad guys instead of like the actual axe for the good guys that we looked at earlier. That's all one piece. So this is 2 pieces. You can see that it's this really weird axe piece on this rod. So it has this thing on the black rod, and there's 2 of them. And then there's one that's on a brown rod, and there's one of those, and that comes in the Gold Getaway set. There's a lot of exclusive stuff in that set. Next up, there is 3 of this really awesome sword here. So you get one with the knight in the King's Castle set, you get one with the knight in the Gatehouse Raid set, and you get one with the melee dude in the Bad Guy Castle Dragon Mountain set, which is kind of weird that he's wielding this huge sword, but pretty cool, I guess. The bad guys seem to be getting some pretty awesome weapons here, Next up, we've got this really awesome spear. Now, why is this spear awesome? You might say, well, here's the answer. This is the only spear that is colored dark gray and is for the bad guys in the entire Lego castle thing. It's kind of equivalent to the bow, except the bow is better in my opinion, but it is a really cool spear. So all the good guys have, like, I forgot how many spears it was, but it was a lot of spears. They're all the same. This one only comes in the Gatehouse set, and it is pretty awesome, and it's a different color. It just looks really awesome. Next up, we have this round shield. There's 2 of these. One of them comes in the Gatehouse raid, one of them comes in the Dragon Mountain, and then you had, I believe it was 4 of these shields. 2 come in the King's Castle, 1 comes in the Forest Ambush Battle Pack set, and the 4th one comes in the Dragon Mountain set. So I hope you guys did enjoy that section. Okay guys, so the ratio of good guys to bad guys is as follows. So you have 2 from the, you know what, I'm not even gonna go into that. So there's 13 good guys and there is 11 bad guys. In all of the sets, if you bought one of them, you'd have 13 good guys and you would have 11 bad guys. That is counting all of the knights, all of the king, the wizard, and I'm counting the dragon as a minifigure. Oh, and the princess. So, if you took away the princess from the good guys, you would have 12. And if you took away the dragon from the good guys, then you would have 10. So it'd be 12 to 10 ratio of, like, actual humans who are fighting. Although technically you could say that the king doesn't fight, so then it would be 11 to 10. But really, guys, it's like a 13 to 10 or to 11 ratio, which is just crazy. You're getting more good guys than you are bad guys. It's no wonder the bad guys lose all the time. I mean, in the Gatehouse raid set, it's the most unfair Lego set attack thing that I've ever seen, because basically what it is that there's this bad guy driving this supply cart, and then you have a segment of good guy wall with a good guy attacking out of it, and then you have a full-on, like, Civil War looking cannon thing that another good guy's wielding. I mean, that supply cart is so big, one hit from that cannon, the supply cart's gone, and you get 2 good guy minifigures and only 1 bad guy minifigure, and it's just the most unfair thing. The other unfair place is at the King's Castle, where you get 4 people in the castle and 3 people attacking the castle that are bad guys. And that makes sense. You need a lot of good guys to run the castle. But at the same time, the bad guys would never attack with, like, 3 people. That just doesn't make any sense. I mean, they're stupid, but they're not that stupid, if you understand what I'm saying. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the 3 segments of good guy building stuff. So you have this little segment from the Gold Getaway. Doesn't really matter though. We don't really care about it too much. It's just kind of a throw-in of a few extra pieces. Then next up you have the castle and gatehouse. Now, I told you in the Gatehouse and Castle review videos that you can put the castle to connect it to the gatehouse, and you can connect the gatehouse to the castle. I did not show it in the Gatehouse review, I did show it in the castle review, but it was pretty long, and if you guys didn't watch the whole thing, I totally understand, but it was in there. If you did watch it, you know what I'm talking about. But I'm going to do it now and show you some really helpful hints that can help you put the gatehouse in with the castle and make it look really good. So here's what I would do first. I would separate the gatehouse into its 3 sections, and I would separate the tower and wall segments on either side for the castle. This is if you have it in an enclosed space. Obviously you can make whatever you want and put whichever castle place you wanted where, put whatever tower in whatever position you wanted. However, this is going by what the box has it as, the way that the box has it, so I always try to go by what the box has, unless I really want it to be some other way. I do change it from time to time, but for right now, we are just talking about these, the way that the box had put it. So I would separate the tower and castle segments, and then what you're going to do is take the gatehouse, the middle of the gatehouse, and put it in the back, and the 2 segments on the outsides of the gatehouse we're going to put on either side of the castle right there, and it's going to look really good. But first, before we do that, you have to create another segment of wall. Now, what are you going to make this segment of wall out of? Well, here is the segment of wall, and I will explain. So, what you do is grab a 2x4 in green, because it matches the green of the rest of it. Then what you do is take pieces that look like this. You can have them be those plus ones, or you can have them be like the circle ones. Sorry, my grammar isn't like perfect, but you just kind of place them right there. And then what you're gonna want to do is put 4 more studs worth of Lego onto it. So you can make it in whatever way you want, but I mean, try to make it look like a castle. But if you do like a semi-good job, it's just gonna fit in perfectly, so you don't have to worry about that too much. So green base, then you have this brick, which you're gonna connect it with. Then you have 4 bricks of random stuff to make it look like a castle. Then you're gonna add 2 more of those bricks that we had talked about earlier. You're gonna add them on the top of that, and then take a 2x4, add this little gray piece to it, this 2x1, and then what you're gonna do is stick that right on top there. So now you have your little segment of wall. And what this is used for is to square out the castle. So now we're gonna do that right now. So guys, here it is. It's the ultra super extra wide castle with which you can play whatever you want in here. There's room to put your hands, both of them. You're not confined to what was like this much space. Now you have like this much more, and there's so much you could do with this space. And now, speaking of that extra wall that we just made, can you even find it in here? Like, yes, you can. It's right there, that little 2x4. And if you look at it from the opposite side, you're probably gonna see a small difference. However, like if you made it really, really, really good, you wouldn't be able to tell much of a difference. And honestly, I mean, it just looks good. It doesn't take away from the entire castle too much. And in my opinion, the bad part about having it stand out just a little bit is totally overshadowed by the fact that you have so much playability space inside of the castle. Now, if you did want to not have a super extra wide castle, and you wanted a super extra long castle, then you just do the same thing, taking those 2 pieces and putting them right here, and these 2 pieces and putting them over there, you'd have a super extra long castle. Now, the solution to this would just be to buy 2 gatehouses, and then you could put 1 on each end, and then create a really, really, really big castle. And you wouldn't need that extra segment of wall or anything fancy along those lines. Now imagine if you had like 4 gatehouses. This thing could just be amazing. I mean, by that point you might as well just buy a second castle and mod it to help your first castle. But yeah guys, that is one way to make your castle bigger if you do have it. And so you can have all sorts of play space in the middle, fighting scenes, all sorts of stuff. You can like put your horses places, keep the cannons in there. I mean, it's just an amazing part of the brilliance of the castle people with putting the gatehouse and the castle together. Now obviously have to mod it. It'd be really cool if they had just included like another stud of space on the middle section of the gatehouse, and then you wouldn't even have to create that, but they didn't. I mean, not everything's perfect. It wasn't the perfect system, but it works pretty well. So really awesome that you're able to do that and just create this really awesome space in the middle for your minifigures. And yeah guys, that is that. Well guys, if you've made it this far in the video, then you are a trooper. Thank you for watching so much. If you did like this, make sure to hit that like button and that subscribe button. But, I mean, you watched the entire video by this point, so, I mean, you don't really have to do anything. I'm already thanking you for doing that. So, also you can leave a comment in the comment section below on how long you think this video should actually be, or what you liked the most about it. But I mean, either one. It's been a really long video, and now I'm gonna go so that you don't have to like sit here for another 4 minutes. So thank you guys for watching. This is Kenneth from the Lego Republic, and I hope you have a great day.